Once I'm rolling, I can't stop making videos. So here's the next one. In this one, we will start working with this template file, which I'm prepared and I'm sharing with you, and then use it first to recreate actually kind of like a basic base for reference purpose. And then we will make use of the create form to very quickly generate various studies of kind of like different shapes or shells, and those are all done just via the T-Splines or create form. So everything is sketch free and just sculpted, which is a really fun and creative way how to very quickly build organic shells, which are possible to do via sketches, etc., but are very labor intensive. And this type of surfacing simply is done better via the create form environment. Okay. Before we get started, you have to download this template file. The link is inside the description for the video in YouTube. Save it on your desktop, Mac or PC. Then in Fusion we go File, Open, from Computer, navigate to the file, Open, and there we are. It's all preset. The canvases are positioned and scaled, and the unit system is set. Very good. Now, since we would like to quickly explore various shape styles for the seeding using the sculpt or the form environment, we should create first a basic base everything will be sitting on. And this reference image has actually casters in it and a 5-star base. We will do everything without the rules, but we can use the rest as a proportional guide. So we can go to create cylinder, ground plane, click on that center point, 1.5 inches for the diameter, and then enter, and we can drag this one up maybe to 13 inches. Who knows? We can later modify this. Good. Enter. There we are. Now to model one of these legs, later we will actually create all via the pattern command. Again, we can go to a site and take a look at this as an inspiration, for example. So I will go to create shape, go to here, line, and then I zoom in. I have grid turned on. I click a little bit, not on the center, but a little bit inside. Then I go over maybe to here, go a little bit up, a little bit to here, and then down. Good. A little bit of cleanup. This should be vertical, horizontal. That's good. At this point, please be horizontally aligned. D for dimension, 9.5. And I would like to have here a distance of 0.5 maybe. Goody. Yeah, so that doesn't look too bad. I will click Finish Sketch, hide this, go to Extrude, 0.25, extrude each symmetry side as a new body, please. Okay, good. Yeah. I don't know really if this looks good, so I will go ahead and create myself a circular pattern body. This body, please, around. By the way, I can select the cylinder 5 times. Very good. So there we have it. So maybe the amount was okay. I would like to change everything a little bit. So let's go back to here. So I double clicked on that extrude command and say the whole distance maybe be 7.5. So the whole length, I mean. Okay, So there we see it's getting actually very close. Okay, good. And then I will go one time back and I also will hide this one. And then I will go to move and copy because this face I would like to rotate a little bit. So here, this face, just rotate 1 degree. Okay. Let's do this one more time. Face this one. Also -1. Okay. So you see it tapers a little bit. Makes it look more elegant. And because here this command makes a circular ray of the body, basically you see how all the changes I put before the circular pattern command are in there now. Very nice. Okay, good. So this might actually look pretty fine. I will do a combine and say, hey, all you here combine. Very good. When I do a rounding, how does this look? I can do a rounding that way. Repeat, can I do a rounding this way? Yeah, okay. Undo rounding. What about when I select this edge and I do a rounding? Yeah, that works. Repeat. Here I can do a rounding now. And right click, repeat, and do a rounding here. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. But the problem now is if I would do the same here, then these elements actually would start cutting into each other. So maybe if I might have to undo these steps. But I started to see now if can I create a nice blend between them. Let's say this is something maybe you would like to try out. So what about we say this should be 9. So there you see how there's a slight overlap, no? Okay, good. So after the circular pattern, let's do this cut. Okay, and what happens if I now go ahead and round this? Oh, look at that. That actually doesn't look too bad. No? I hope you start seeing kind of like what I was trying to do there. Okay, let's click cancel here for the moment. Because there was another kind of like similar issue actually I noticed. Hold on, I shouldn't have hit cancel. Let me do this one more time. Okay, good. You see this edge here, this edge I later need to round to. Okay. But basically now I figured out, this all actually works. Good. So I will undo a few steps just to go back to here because I know this configuration, what I have now, how I would like to blend everything will work. If I take a look at my reference image, there are these funny elements here. And maybe I want to see, can't I just put this into my sketch too? So I go back to my sketch. So now there you see, there is that part. So it looks like it's a horizontal extension. Okay. But maybe I make this a tick higher. Then I go over and then slightly at an angle and I go back. And then this I would revolve. But I would do the revolve after, yeah. After I did these moves. Okay. show the sketch, revolve U, axis around there, join, very good. Let's see, fingers crossed, yeah, flop. Kind of cool, no? How everything automates. Okay. And now I can go ahead and maybe this is all a little bit too big. Just style it as we would like. Yeah, nice. So this is actually good. Now, filleting, adding roundings is always a tricky business. It can slow things down. Which is why I join everything together. Very good. Then I can go ahead and say in the first pass, I will round all these edges, create myself a nice base, 1 inch, 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 feels better. It's not too big. Then in the second pass, since I'm working at the center, I will select all these edges and round those. Let's see by how much, 0.5. Oh, it was 5. Okay. Or 4. Very good. And since this is now done, then I can go ahead and say Ene, mene, mi. Und raus bist du. That was a German saying, here, we round those. Very good. Because this here previously was a line, I needed to round it, so then this was able to be nice and smooth. Very good. Since now this is connected, we can go ahead and say, good, this being so sharp is not really up to my standards. I would like that to be a little bit softer, 0.1 maybe, not too much. 0.05. Yeah, that is good. But then I see, I don't have enough space to round this cap. Not a big problem. Let's drag this one up a little bit. Now by moving this line, I manipulated this edge here. And the software rebuilt everything. And now I can go ahead and say, good. I will select all those. 0.2, 0.1. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I would say now we have actually a base that looks a little bit more interesting. It's not just a boring piece that is under it. It's not too distracting. And this will look, or it is stable and it will function when we are going to build actually the shell ideas over it. So now we are ready to create our very quick ideation and studies for possible organic shell designs, which we could create via the create form command. Ideally in this mode, as a creative person, you want to turn off your brain. Our brain very often is our biggest enemy, and simply let yourself be guided by accidents, observations, and just the tools, and just work. Okay, so create form in the front view. Box on this plane from center on this grid, click and drag, maybe kind of like 24 I will go, yeah, 24 by 24. So 24 tab 24 and enter. Very good. Then here you see 24. This needs to be 24 and faces length, width and height 1. Okay. Right click, double click, then modify, edit, and bring this over to here. This is maybe a tick too small. So I go to transform scale, and then I can click and scale this. Maybe like this. Move this up a little bit again, maybe to there. Okay, good. Finish form. So it's a very big blob. Very difficult to get in. So let's do that. By having rotated, now here we will sit, majority of the weight is down there. I realized, edit, right click, maybe this needs to go a little bit more to there. Okay, good. Then we will make a sketch there. And I have really no idea. Again, all we try to do right now is explore very quickly shapes and forms and not be too picky if it looks good or whatever. That's something we can always do afterwards. So there's now our sketch, and here's our solid block. I can split this body by this line, very good. But yeah, I can't really go in there. How do I open this? Before I do the split, I need to core that thing out. So I go in the timeline back. Here's the shell command. Shell, let's say 2 inches to give this a good material thickness. There we are. There. Wow. You see? Pretty cool, no? I think so too. Now we can play around. Well, how does this all look like when we do stuff like this? So you can see actually how wonderful this tool is. 0.5, maybe 1 inch for the inside, right click, this one here, 0.5, 0.25 to make it smaller so the outside is sharper, the inside definitely bigger. No, not too bad. And based on how we move this, there might be some interesting accidents. As you can see, the fillet command there complained a little bit. So right click, what's the warning? It lost references. Okay, well, what? Show me again. Okay, so some edges it doesn't know. Right click, edit feature. Okay, well, looks everything actually works. Just click OK, and then that fixes it. Okay, very good. Yeah, no idea why this actually happened. It doesn't matter. We can easily repair this again. No, there. Cool. Okay, so I will change this back kind of like to this. I thought maybe this might be an interesting design where it's kind of like a sphere we call out to go in. Okay, now it wasn't too complicated. So all this stuff here we created, right click, make a group. There's now a design group. I can right click, rename, and say maybe sphere idea 1. And so I don't see it all the time, I can suppress it. So it's gone. It's not really gone, it's just hidden. Good. New thing. Again. From the front, we start again with a box. Click here, this time 16 by 16. Enter. Also here, 16. Okay. Double click, edit form, and then we drag this over to here. Maybe we will scale this a tick up. Maybe by 1.2, so 20%. move it maybe to here. Okay, good. So this time we will delete actually these two faces. And whoa, you see how this thing opens? If I delete this or delete this, there you see what's happening. So what we can do now is actually the following. Okay, so here's my my modify. I will work on just edges I selected, bring this one down, this one I bring up. These 2 points here I select, I scale outwards. Let's go to the side. This one here, that one goes up. This one here I move down. This maybe I move back a little bit. Okay, and then this one can go forward a little bit. Yeah, let's rotate around. Not too shabby. Okay, there's definitely a lot that can be done better to this design. But for the moment, first, let's say, okay, now what we do is just, we do studies. Okay, very nice. Also here, hide this, very good. Then we make another sketch. And here we go. I don't know, maybe with a shape like this. And then we will try to use the trim command to cut this surface away. And there you see what we have. And then we can use the thicken command. 1 inch. Very good. This then can be removed. And we can 0.5, 0.75. Make this a nice rounding. Cool. Okay. Now, this is actually pretty deep. From the front, yeah. Again, this is maybe cool for right now. And yeah, you know, the drill, we can move all this around a little bit. And just play with it. Style it. Pretty nice, no? Yeah, think so too. Okay. Next idea. Group, right click, expand. Idea 2 and suppress. Then new thing, yeah, very right, on here at the center again. And 16 by minus 16 by 16. I will actually go 2 by 2 by 2. Very good. And then modify, select everything, bring this over. Rotate that thing a little bit. Very nice. And then I will select all these 8 faces, pretty much now the same like before. And the next step is kind of cool what we're going to do. So we will select those. Very nice. And then we go to modify. And hold on one second. Local yeah. So you see how this arrow is now perpendicular to this edge. That is what I wanted. Very good, because then it goes straight down. Very nice. And then when I select this, and there you see, can bring this up. Cool. Let's turn on the reference. Yeah. This this and this. We could maybe go back here now to this one. So that the center, I scale those maybe a tick together. And I don't know yet, but when I select these two and then hold the Alt key and click on this scale command, you see how it extrudes and scales an element out, kind of like an armrest. That actually, that is actually pretty cool. What about we select all these edges? Can do it this way. These lines are black, or not black, they're thick black because they're creased. So let's uncrease them. Then there you see what we get. Cool. Okay, so that tells us here something goes out and then something goes down and then there's something to the back. Similar to the Pantone chair, this basically works. So modify, hold the Alt key. Here I drag and then I extrude this one out. Here I will select these two. That is correct. And then maybe, can I do this with the local? Yeah, hold the Alt key and then drag these down. You can see they go right along this line. Very good. Then I will select this, this, and this. Alt key, and this time I scale. Very good. And with this done now, I can go ahead and uncrease these two. And then weld points. So weld. So this one to, maybe this one to there, and this one to there. What about you to you and you to you? Yeah, pretty cool. And if we don't need to keep everything nice and symmetrical, this hold, not the Alt key, but via scaling, we can push this out even more. Or when we hold the Alt key and then we extrude something new out, if we want to. How would this actually look? Okay, so let's see, uncrease. Now there we have kind of like this floppy flop, whatever that is. But maybe that looks too silly. Maybe this is kind of good. But here, this I really would like to stick out a lot. But then here I would like the distances to be really tiny. So let's go to this, to the box view, because that is then very easy to understand how everything looks. So these 2 points I will select and scale really close and go to local view. Does this work? Let's see. Yeah, it works. And then just drag those down a little bit. Oh, unfortunately, it went each one. One went up, one went down. So here I do this by hand, 0.5. Very good. Thank you. And then here, minus 0.5. And then here, I will move this one up. That's only one, till it looks actually pretty close. Very nice. U2, zip, to there. And normal orientation for the scale widget. I scale this a little bit so that these lines are kind of like at an angle that loops the geometry better. And I probably can even pull these down a little bit. So you see how I'm sculpting everything by doing this inside this box modeling if you want to, and then Select all thing, back. Let's take a look. Yeah, no, that looks, for example, better. Now you can really see that this on purpose is really wide. What happens when we maybe select these two and scale those two? Yeah, even better. And here? Scale these out. Oh, that's actually interesting how this creates a focal on these corners. I'm not claiming this looks necessarily beautiful or good, but this is something I consider turn the brain off and just do something. Don't force it and be guided simply by the results we can get. Yeah, and then here too, easy peasy, shell 0.25, actually negative. There we are. This one we can remove. And there we have a shell for it. Still needs a lot of work to be refined, but again, this is just all beginner stuff what we're doing here. Good. Same deal. Create group. And then rename idea 3. And then we can also here hit suppress. Very good. Okay. Last one, we can also work with splines or curves and the create form. So we make another create form, but before we continue, let's go to the side view, create a sketch on here. Very good. And then we will use here this control point. Maybe click, click, go down, go to here, there, there, and maybe there. Right, okay, escape. And creating a little bit of a lumber support. So all these I will drag down a little bit. This is too high there. Okay, yeah. Maybe. Can bring this back. So you see I'm kind of like retracing that back area. Good. Now, this is actually our sketch, which we created. And then we can go to create and go to extrude. Click on this for extrude and extrude it out. So 8 inches one direction. And we want to do this symmetrical. Very nice. Okay, so there we have this piece. Now, what can we do now? Because this is a flat surface, but we also have this centerpiece here. We can select this point, go to modify, and for example, drag this one down. Click this. Maybe bring this over a little bit. Can do the same here. Maybe local unity, yeah, so bring this a tick to there. That looks actually pretty nice. Okay. Yeah. Not too bad. You see, I switched to Vertex Control. And when I go to this view, let me go first to this view and maybe rotate. There you can see that this is not a C. This is more like a, yeah, I don't know. Looks like a bow. So from the outside to here, this goes horizontal and then it bends. And that's because there are these handles. And when I select these handles, when you're in Vertex, there's this lock thing. when you click it, there you see now what happened. Okay, so that's basically what I would like to do now is I will select all these handles and click that. Okay, and then the same here and there. Suck. Okay. The handles basically allow you to override the shape if you want to, but it can also be really pretty in your way or not really what you want. And in my case, all I want is just when I, for example, move this one, I want this to be kind of like a C and not any other wavy shape or whatever. Very good. Yeah, so now we actually sculpted a pretty nice kind of like lofted surface. Instead of using 3 sketches, I simply made this with 1 sketch, extruded, and then I pushed and pulled the points right into the shape. Also here, very easy. Thicken there, 0.5 minus is maybe, yeah, okay. And then there. Okay, we're just rounding these edges maybe a little bit by 1 inch. Beautiful. Now, and again, just because this is all parametric, when we later go back and change something, maybe there, and this one here maybe a little bit in, and this one maybe a little bit down, and finish, then everything will be updated or undo when we liked the way how stuff was. Pretty cool. Okay. Now then, to work clean and consistent, rename idea 4. Very nice. And then this whole idea here with suppress, as you can see, is just a tool if you want to park ideas. You do not have to hit suppress, but when you unsuppress them, you see everything here gets kind of filled. And I find actually that this suppress function is really quite useful when you explore variations in a more loosely approach, because then you can make a copy and then put everything into a group. Your timeline doesn't explode and you can organize your steps or your thoughts actually much better. Peace out.